Hello there, welcome back to another fragrance related review. So today I have another fragrance from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi. Now actually I saw this particular fragrance back when I was reviewing Blue by Ahmed, but then I never got around getting this particular fragrance. Apologies for that, but nonetheless, now that the fragrance is here, we can do a detailed review about it, talk about its scent profile, projection, and does it remind you of any fragrance, should you get it, all about it, because Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrances are pretty long lasting and this one also is that way, right? So you're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get going right after this intro. Alright, so welcome back, and we've done quite a few fragrances from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi, and most of them have been pretty popular, pretty good lasting, good fragrances, long lasting, and they're a hit most of the times, right? So especially when you think about a fragrance like Blue by Ahmed that I kind of reviewed, and it's sold plenty after that. A lot of people reviewed it after that, and it's pretty nice to know that a fragrance was a hidden gem that way. So if you look at this, and when you think about Zeleny, they are almost alike. And I also have Azure Royale here also to give you a reference as well. So let's talk about all of these things. So this is the Zeleny fragrance, which is green in color, okay? And if you look at this, it's pretty much an identical looking type of a bottle. It's just that the color is slightly different. It's a very nice color. It's kind of a light lemony green, that kind of a bottle, which looks very nice. And the box is similar to the Ahmed Al Maghribi Blue by Ahmed box, which was a blue colored one. In this color it is a green with those same designs and all of that, right? So let's keep this aside. So this is the Zeleny box, so let's just keep this aside here, okay? Right now, so yeah, let's keep the Blue by Ahmed aside as well. Let's talk about Zeleny first. So like I said, I was really interested in this particular fragrance back when I was reviewing or when I was scouting for this one, and I happened to see it with a few sellers. At that point of time, it was actually cheap. It was about 1300 rupees, 1400 rupees, but now it is selling upwards of 1700 or so because it's been made popular by a couple of fragrance reviews, and I think it's otherwise also a pretty good fragrance considering summer. The prices also have kind of gone up. But back when I was trying to look at this particular fragrance, I did not get it immediately because it looked like a women's fragrance, and I think it was supposed to be a Gucci Bloom or one of these fragrances like that. It sounded like that, but then I kept it aside. But then over a period of time, we got this fragrance and we added it to decants anyway, and then I kind of got this very recently, right? In the meantime, I had also reviewed Azure Royale, and this is going to play an important role in understanding this particular fragrance, right? So let's go by the fragrance itself, and let's do a test spray. Okay, so this is a fragrance that if you like fruity fragrances, you will absolutely enjoy it. So that is the first thing to know. It's a fruity fragrance. It's fruity, it's floral, it's musky kind of a fragrance. Okay, so those are three important components of this particular fragrance, which makes it very lively, very refreshing, and very nice. So the fragrance has basically got a very prominent note of passion fruit, and that's something that I immediately recognized when I put this on. And another thing that I could immediately make a connection to was this particular fragrance, okay, Azure Royale. So the moment I put it on, it was just like an instant click for me that I could just think about Azure Royale straight away, and I'll come to that. So like I said, the opening has got some bergamot, it's got some tangerine, it's got a passion fruit. It also talks about strawberry, so a lot of tart elements, right? Strawberry is also a fruity, but it's also got a tartness, it's got that plumacious tartness to it, right? Tangerine is also a citrus, citrus, which is also got, the orange kind of a tartness, bitter element to it. And then of course passion fruit is actually a very fruity, very sweet, nice kind of an approach. It's a very nice fragrance to note to have, right? So passion fruit gives that very refreshingly good vibe. It's like one of those lemon Lipton's iced tea. If you have thought about, in summers you have peach and you have other flavors. So if you tried anything like peach, which will give you that very nice feeling of fruity, very sweet, very refreshing, right? Similarly, passion fruit also has got a similar nuance when it comes to as a fruit, and the note also is very nice that way. It gives you a very refreshing take. Now aside to this, the heart notes is where there is a lot of floral notes on this particular fragrance. It's got like jasmine, it's got like peony, lily of the valley, it's also got vanilla and some elements like that. But those floral elements are not very pronounced. They are mildly there, in the background. They kind of, are blended very well. So you kind of get a very fruity, and a very floral type of an opening. Now in the base, of course, there's good amount of musk in this particular fragrance, so that's going to play a very interesting role. Now along with the musk, there is also oak moss and woody notes also on this particular fragrance, but then the woody notes is very low, I would say. The oak moss is something that you will definitely feel. So on the whole, you can think about this particular fragrance as a concoction of fruity, floral, tangy, citrusy, tart type of a fruity element, along with some mild floral elements which are not very obvious, but again in the heart notes also there is a little bit of berries to give you that tartness, that tanginess that you want in some fragrances, and of course the bottom part being musk and oak moss. Okay, so the woody notes is also very low. Now just like the Blue by Ahmed, this is also got a 35% of concentration of fragrance oil, so that means you know that this particular fragrance is going to last long. Now why Azure Royale? Now, Azure Royale also, if you notice, is a musk heavy fragrance, and I think Ahmed Al Maghribi does extremely good musk fragrances, be it musk Kashmiri that I have a sample of, or a lot of other musk fragrances. Their musk fragrances are superb, so they do it really well, and they're very pronounced. Now I told you that Azure Royale is a fragrance that's got a good vibe of musk along with ambroxan and a little bit of fruity vibes, where the fruity notes are lower. And if you remember that particular review, you will notice that the passion fruit is also another element in that particular fragrance. So the moment I put Zeleny on my skin, I could immediately think of Azure Royale, because Azure Royale was a similar type of a fragrance where the fruity notes were softer, but the musk was more louder. It was a kind of a way of saying softer version of Ortho Paris's Megamere, but a little more fruitier, right? Now Zeleny takes that fruitier note and puts it right on top and brings that musk right there. So it's an equivalent of fruity floral vibes along with musk equally placed. So it's a pretty loud fragrance that way. Okay, now that's where this particular fragrance differentiates itself like from Azure Royale. So Azure Royale and this, I feel, are a little similar in the musk part of it, whereas the fruity notes is way softer, lower here. Here the fruity floral notes are pretty amped up, and the musk also is pretty amped up, right? So now you kind of get a reference, or you kind of get an understanding of how this particular fragrance stands in line with Azure Royale or with other Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrances. Now having said that, this particular fragrance lasts long. Okay, so it easily does about 6 hours of on skin, and on apparel it will easily do about 6 to 7 hours easy. Now in terms of projection, this is not a beast mode kind of a fragrance like Blue by Ahmed. It is a little softer that way. You will get a soft projection for about 2 to 2.5 feet. While at that, it does really well. It's a linear type of a fragrance for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. It's pretty linear that way, where you're spending a lot of those passion fruit, citrusy elements, floral notes, all of that coming together, giving you that nice refreshingly sweet vibe. Okay, so it's slightly sweeter as well, because fruity notes and passion fruit along with a little bit of pineapple as well. But it's not like the type of pineapple that you think about Qaid al Farsan or anything as such, or Aventus as such. The pineapple note is not very obvious. The primary note that's very obvious is a blend of citrus and passion fruit coming together, a little bit of that strawberry somewhere in the background playing a little bit of that tartness along with a little bit of berry, and of course the floral notes playing a very mild hue. But the prominent thing is, of course, the musk and oak moss, which is very there, right? So on the whole, this is a really good fragrance because it does about 6 hours of performance. It projects for about 2 to 2.5 feet. Very refreshingly good in summers. Now, where can you wear this particular fragrance? It's perfect for office wears, it's perfect for casual day wears, it's perfect for summer. Now, if you are somebody who's been using a lot of citrus fragrances, musk fragrances, and you want something slightly different, which is in the lines of more fruity along with musk, then you can definitely consider this, because it's really good in that way, and you will kind of enjoy this fragrance for a good summer day. Throughout the year you can kind of wear it, which is very refreshingly good. So if you do not like fruity fragrances, if you do not like sweet fragrances, and if you don't like musk fragrances, then you can definitely avoid this. But nonetheless, this is a solid fragrance from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi, and you kind of really enjoy both of them done very good. In fact, I think all three that I reviewed in recent times have been really good, unique in their own way, and each of them have been stellar performers. Be it Blue by Ahmed, which is very good in its performance, extremely office wear, everyday kind of a fragrance that you can wear. Azure Royale on the other hand, very musk, fruity, again light on fruity, more on musk, marine, very nice fragrance fragrance. Again, you can wear all throughout the year. This is again similar, musk, fruity, floral vibes, extremely good smelling and very unique in its scent profile, right? So is it a clone of something that I know? I don't really know. I don't know if it's a clone of any other fragrance, but from what I can tell you, it's a very clean, nice fragrance that's done by Ahmed Al Maghribi. Another gem, I would say, which is really going to hit the market well, and you're going to enjoy this particular fragrance in summers no less. Okay, right? So if you kind of like the videos that I bring, please hit the like button, subscribe and share. I do have another Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrance called Sapphire coming, which is going to be offered in decants. And if you want to buy any of these fragrances in decants or in retail, you can DM us on the number that's available on the screen. So right, so if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe and share, and I will meet you on another video. Take care. Bye now.